Do you remember this cartoon? Of course you do. Such a familiar movie from childhood. A scene where Aladdin and Jasmine fly on the magic carpet at night gives such a happy feeling, an anticipation of something new, unbelievable and beautiful, of romance and absolute freedom, like in a dream. Due to popular demand, I've decided not to speed up the video as much as usual, so this time you can follow the drawing process in more detail. The tale of Aladdin and the Magic Lamp is one of the tales of Thousand and One Nights. And did you know that the tale of Aladdin, as well as some other tales like Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, originally wasn't a part of the earliest Arabic manuscripts of the tales of Thousand and One Nights? The Thousand and One Nights is a collection of Middle Eastern folk tales compiled during the Islamic Golden Age, believed to have originated in the 9th century. The tales of the collection were passed down orally across different cultures and were Persian, Indian, and Arabic stories. All these tales are united by one storyteller, Shahrazad. Vizier's daughter, Shahrazad, becomes the new wife of the Sultan, who marries a new girl every night to execute her at dawn, to never be betrayed by any girl again. When their first wedding night comes, Shahrazad begins telling stories to the king, but stops before its conclusion right on the dawn, a cliffhanger designed to pique the king's curiosity. So each and every night Shahrazad continues to tell her story, and thus each night she saves her life and escapes death. The Sultan wants to know the continuation of the story after all. It's surprising, but those very same well-known tales as the tale about Aladdin, the tales that we most associate with the 1001 Nights, are not actually original ancient tales. No original Arabic or other Oriental manuscripts with the same plots, same stories have ever been found. All existing finds have led back to translations made by Galland. Anton Galland, the first European translator of 1001 Nights, lived in the early 18th century and translated this cycle of fairy tales into French. It must be said that from the point of view of culture, literature, fashion and art, France of that time was a trendsetter through Europe, and Orientalism a passion for Eastern culture in the form in which European figures of art and culture understood and presented it to the world became incredibly fashionable and popular. Anton Galland traveled in Syria and the Levant, where he copied a great number of ancient inscriptions. During his prolonged residence abroad, he acquired knowledge of the Arabic, Turkish, and Persian languages and literatures. Upon his final return to France, Galland continued his Oriental Library, a huge compendium of information about Islamic culture. This work was published in the end of 17th century and was a major contribution to European knowledge about the Middle East, influencing a lot of writers of the time. In 1709, Galland was appointed to the chair of Arabic in the College de France. He continued to discharge the duties of this post until his death in 1715. In his diary, Galland writes about his encounter with a storyteller from Aleppo, Hanna Diab, a Maronite. Maronites are a Syriac Christian ethno-religious group. According to Gallant's diary, he met with a storyteller while Diab traveled from Aleppo to Paris on March 1709. This same storyteller met Gallant to tell him those missed tales that are not mentioned in the ancient manuscripts, and thus these tales were added by Gallant in his translation of the Tales of 1001 Nights. Gallant's diary tells us that the publication of his translation of Aladdin occurred in the winter of 1709, but any mention or published acknowledgement of Hannah's contribution was there. Thus, there is even an opinion that the Gallant himself is the author of these additional tales. Those long, exotic, eloquent tales are written by adults for adults, not for children. They fit well into the author's fairy tale tradition that became widespread in 18th century France. For example, such are the tales of Charles Perrault. Therefore, if this hypothesis is correct, it follows that the fairy tales most beloved by Europeans were created by Europeans. And the reason for the love of these tales may lie in the fact that these tales are complete in plot and have a definite ending, which distinguishes them from the original tales from the 1001 Night Cycle, which have Oriental roots. In the original tales, the ending often fades, dissolves, and smoothly transitions into the next embedded story of Scheherazade. For example, the tale of the fisherman, where a humble old fisherman catches a sealed copper jar in his net. Upon opening it, he releases a powerful genie. The genie was imprisoned in this jar for so long and accumulated his anger for so long that he swore to kill whoever freed him. And now, the angry spirit offers the fisherman to choose the death he wants to die. But the clever fisherman outwits the genie. How could you, such a huge, powerful genie, fit into such a small vessel? Says fisherman. To prove his power to the fisherman, genie places himself back into the jar, and the fisherman immediately seals the vessel. "If you will take off the cover, I will repay you," genie said. "No," answered the fisherman. "If I trust myself to you, I am afraid you will treat me as a certain Greek king treated the physician Douban." "But who is this Greek king, and what is his story?" the Sultan asked Scheherazade. "Listen, and I will tell you," she answered. This way, the story has no ending but goes into the next one. The translation of Gallant was the first but not the only translation of the Nights. In 1888, Sir Richard Francis Burton translated the Book of the Thousand Nights. Sir Richard Francis Burton, a British explorer, army officer and writer, traveled Asia, Africa, and South America. He was famed for his extensive knowledge of languages and cultures, speaking up to 29 different languages. An eccentric and wealthy man, he can be called the Byron of his time. His translation of the Nights provided a complete and literal rendering of the original Middle Eastern stories, including retaining the explicit, erotic, often shocking content and cultural details from the Oriental original, a feature that was absent in the previous, comfy, expurgated version of Gallant. Due to the sensitive nature of the content, Barton's translation could only be published through a limited subscription. It was impossible to publish such a work with a traditional publisher at that time. Barton's work contains all well-known stories, such as story of Aladdin, Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, and Sinbad the Sailor. His translation is considered a canonical and significant contribution to English literature. The story of Aladdin has frequently been retold with a lot of variation. In both the Gallant and the Burton translations, these are the earliest translations. The action takes place in one of the cities of China, so originally Aladdin is Chinese, but other stories' elements are Middle Eastern. Aladdin is a poor lazy boy who lives with his widowed mother. When a sorcerer from North Africa, who claims to be his uncle, tricks him into retrieving a magic lamp from a magic cave. This lamp contains a powerful genie whose magic grants Aladdin immense power. And with the help of the genie, Aladdin rescues and marries Princess Badrul Budur and outwits the sorcerer. Agrabah, the city of mystery and enchantment from the Disney movie, is a fictional city imagined for Disney's Aladdin film. The creators draw inspiration from the city of Baghdad in Iraq. Disney also drew on the Taj Mahal from the Indian city of Agra for the look of the royal palace. Disney films have popularized characters and eliminated others that appear in the original story. For example, Aladdin's mother. In the original story, she is alive and plays a significant role in aiding Aladdin to meet the beautiful princess. Another character dropped in Disney's version of the story is the second genie. Yep, that's right, there are two genies in the original tale. The first we all know and love as the genie of the lamp. The second is not as well known and is the slave of the magic ring, which Aladdin receives from the evil magician. But this is another story. Listen, and I'll tell you. Thank you so much for watching. If you stayed until this point, until the very end, it means you liked this video. Please consider leaving a like and subscribe so as not to miss my next episodes. Have a wonderful day or night. Bye bye. Aladdin immense power to rescue and marry Princess Badrul Budur and outwit. And next, Aladdin outwits the sorcerer.